Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to today's webinar on your SAP data journey, why Microsoft Fabric is the right analytics strategy. We're thrilled to have you with us as we explore how enterprises can unlock the full potential of their SAP data with the power of Microsoft Fabric. Now, before we begin, a quick note on housekeeping. We will allocate time for a Q&A session at the end of today's discussion. This webinar is being recorded. The recording will be shared with all the registrants after the session. Please feel free to submit your questions during the session in the Q&A section, and someone from our team will respond to you. Your active participation will enrich today's conversation and ensure that we all walk away with actionable insights. Now, today we're privileged to have our distinguished speakers and experts who will share their expertise and perspectives. We have Dikshit, who's our enterprise data and analytics strategist. Dikshit brings extensive experience in shaping enterprise-wide data and analytics strategies. He's worked closely with global organizations to unlock the value of their data assets, driving modernization and innovation. Next, we have Pari, is a hands-on solution expert who specializes in designing and implementing enterprise data solutions. His deep knowledge of SAP data integration and Microsoft Fabric makes him the perfect guide for today's topic. And I'm Nishita Challa, the GTM and Innovation Lead at S Integrators. I work at the intersection of strategy, sales, and technology innovation. My focus is on helping clients harness SAP, Microsoft, and AI-driven solutions to achieve business outcomes and stay future-ready. Now that we've introduced our speakers, let's dive in. Before we get into the topic, I would like to introduce who we are and what we specialize in. Allow me to briefly introduce S2 Integrators. S2 is a women-owned technology consulting firm with a global footprint. We specialize in enabling organizations to accelerate their digital transformation. Now, with a 95% employee retention rate, we pride ourselves on a strong culture of collaboration and customer-centric delivery. We're based out of Atlanta with multiple office locations in Canada and multiple in India. We've been in the business for about 9+ years and are a global strategic partner to various product vendors and an implementation service provider. Our expertise spans across the SAP ecosystem, S/4HANA, SAP Analytics Cloud, Ariba, SuccessFactors, as well as Microsoft, ServiceNow, Salesforce, and Snowflake. We are especially proud of our strategic partnerships with SAP and Microsoft, where we bring in together deep SAP process expertise and Microsoft's modern analytics platforms like Fabric to deliver innovation, scale, and measurable business value. Now, with that, let's dive into our webinar topic, and here's what we'll cover in today's session. We're going to be talking about the current analytical challenges today, why Microsoft is the right strategy here, modernizing SAP Analytics with Fabric, and the key capabilities that it provides. We will also be covering the AI capabilities with a short demo, and then talk about real-world success, our success stories. And then we would discuss the AI use cases for this SAP data, and that closing it with all the key takeaways that you're going to take away from this particular webinar. I would like to now hand it over to Pari, who will talk us through how Microsoft Fabric enables a smarter, more scalable analytics strategy for SAP. Pari, over to you.
Thank you, Nishita. That was a quick and very wonderful intro. Thanks for that. Hello, everyone. Thanks for taking time and joining this webinar with us. So why? Why do we need Microsoft Fabric in place, first of all, right? So what are the current challenges we have in front of us with our current system or current approach to build our reports or to build our analytics platform? What are the current challenges we have? Because until we know that, it will not add any value to what we are going to cover here, right? So we need to know what are the challenges in front of us. The first one is data silos and fragmentation. So this is pretty much common across any organization of any size, right? Because we have different source systems, we have different places where we store our data, and it's all spread across the organization. It is not in one place to give a holistic view of the data, right? But that is lacking across what are the organizations I worked with, I see that as a common challenge. That's the first one and foremost. The next one is complex architecture, right? And if you want to build any analytics platform on top of your existing legacy ERP systems, CRM systems, yes, it is having they are the best at its own where it was designed for, right? That yeah, it does it the best job. But when it comes to analytics or reporting, um, it lacks like its own way of adding more customization or bring the data easily. They are lacking in that area of that. So I hope we are going to address that here, right? And the next one is scalability and performance issue. So we have when it comes to performance, because that's the very much important for the management to come in. For them, it's performance all the time is important all the time, right? So that's that. And next one is data governance gaps. So even though it's at the bottom of the list, we have management who's focusing on the auditing. We have third party coming in auditing our every organization when it comes to data security, how it flows through, where it goes to, how you handle your data, and is it secured. So we need a complete lineage of how the data flows between the systems. So that is lacking in current analytics platforms. And we also have AI and advanced analytics barriers. So when these ERP systems or CRM systems were designed, they didn't have this AI ML in their mind when it was originally designed, right? So how are we going to address that using Microsoft Fabric? So that is what we're going to cover in the next session. Next slide, please. Yes. So why Microsoft Fabric is the right strategy, right? So what is it? What are the highlights, right? The first one is it has an unified platform and OneLake storage, and where you can bring all of your entire organization data into your OneLake storage, and you can have the holistic view of your entire data here. It has connectors to all of your source systems such as SAP, Salesforce, SharePoint. You can have all those connectors here, and you can bring your data here. And the next one is simplified architecture. Right here, the architecture, it's what you define, and you can have your own architecture in place. For example, the Fabric supports natively the medallion architecture, where you take your data and then you cleanse it stage by stage or layer by layer, so that it natively supports. The next one, it is scalable and performant, and where this one comes with backbone of Spark framework, where you can create your own Spark cluster configuration, and you can scale it up, scale it down based on your needs and your query processing time. So that's another highlight where the Fabric comes with. So just to give you a background here, right? So why not the previous Azure? Why not that? Because that was lacking this collaborative platform, that was lacking this notebook-based collaboration or even Spark-based configuration. So now Microsoft saw that as an opportunity in the market, because if you compare this with other data platforms such as Databricks, Snowflake, they were having a high presence on this one with a very powerful modernized data platform. So Microsoft was lacking that. So that is why they built this entirely from scratch. So it was not an addition, or it was not an additional feature to what we already had in Azure. It is a completely built from scratch platform, and you can make use of it. The next one is built-in governance and security. So this one, Fabric has purview, and that can give you a lineage view of your entire data flow. And you can have workflows, you can have workspace based allocation, and you have the complete control on how data is going through in this entire subsystems, right? The next one is AI ready and collaborative analytics. So at this era of AI, we know everything is meant to be designed, everything is designed having the AI in the mind, right? So, and this one comes with Copilot, and it has my AI agents you can create on top of it, and you can make use of all these which comes along with Fabric to have your data ready for AI and analytics collaborative. The next one, please. Yes. So now we talked about the highlights of the Fabric. Let's talk about how this is applicable to our SAP Analytics. So this is this entire webinar is designed particularly for SAP Analytics. Let's talk a little bit about that as well, right? So here in Fabric, you can bring your you can connect to SAP system, and you can bring your BW views, HANA views, or even transaction system seamlessly into the OneLake, and you can do your data processing on top of it, right? So it has native connectors to it. It has shortcuts to it. We will cover that in detail in later section. And we also have once you have your entire data of your SAP data in place, right? You can also bring your data from other ERP systems or CRM systems such as Salesforce, SharePoint, and you have a OneLake storage, and we have entire data there. Now you will get full control on it, and then you can do your analytics on top of it. The next is accelerator insights. So now, okay, you brought in all the data here, and you have brought in data from other systems also. What are you going to do with it, right? It needs to be updated. You cannot work with the stale data. You cannot work with the week old data, right? So here we have a seamless connection. You can refresh your data near real time, so that your analytics, your reports always stays up to date, right? The next one is business ready models, right? Now your data is there. You cleaned up your data. You have your updates all the time coming in. It's always up to date. But now what is the next step, right? So you are going to create business models out of it. You can follow star schema based model, or you can even follow snowflake based model, and you can create your models which can be integrated into your underlying system, Power BI, Tableau, wherever you want. You can use a semantic model as your bridge between your source system and your reporting system, and you can make use of that as well. And the next is trusted and governed data, right? So we can create n number of data sets, right? But how are you going to validate it? How are you going to certify it? We have options in Fabric where you can have your SMEs or your business user to certify them, and you can create certified data sets. So that will give people more confidence that, okay, this is coming from a certified background, so we can use it for our marketing reporting as well, right? So we have that and a capacity also within Fabric. The next one is AI enabled platform. Right now, you have the certified data set. What you're going to do with that, right? You can build AI agents on top of it. You can train your model with this data, and you can use your co-pilot to answer questions on top of it. And we have a very good demo coming up in the next slides. Yes, you can even integrate that with your teams, and you can have your questions answered just using your plain English, right? And okay, we have talked all these things. Everything is looking good in paper? Theoretically, is it even possible in practically? Yes, we have done it. We have proved it by our delivery. So we have implemented all these strategies, all these techniques in our recent engagement. We are going to show you that also, the entire architecture there for you guys to take a look at it practically. But this is really possible, and this is coming at a very comfortable level. With this, I'm going to hand it over to Dikshit, who is going to take you in more detail about each of these experiences with you.
Thank you, Pari, for the insightful points. The way you broke down the challenges and highlighted why Fabric is the right strategy really makes things clearer for all of us. With that context, let's now dive into Microsoft Fabric and explore its capabilities. Let's start by looking at how analytics is typically deployed across organizations. Most companies follow a similar pattern. First comes data integration, bringing information from different systems together. Next is data engineering, preparing and shaping that data for use. Then comes data warehouses, which are built by organizations to support business intelligence, dashboards, and reports that drive decisions. Recently, we have seen real-time analytics and data science become essential, helping companies make faster and smarter decisions. And increasingly, data lakes are also being used as central storage hub. Think about your own organization for a moment. Have you ever struggled with inconsistent data? I know most of us have struggled. That's why governance is so critical. We need to ensure that data is trusted, consistent, and well managed. Microsoft has built a really strong portfolio in analytics, one that can scale to cover almost every scenario you can think of. And over the years, this portfolio has only grown and matured. But with that growth comes a bit of challenge. Many of you may have faced it already. Navigating a fragmented set of products, different licensing models, a mix of PaaS and SaaS offerings. And let's be honest, some of these tools come with steep learning curves. It's exciting, but at the same time, it can feel overwhelming. Adoption gets harder, integration can take longer, and at times, even less cost efficient than expected. So the question is, how do we simplify all this without losing the depth and power Microsoft offers? Microsoft Fabric is the solution. It's a unified analytics platform built to simplify your entire data landscape. Just like Office 365 brings all your work apps together, Fabric brings all your data apps into one platform, unlocking limitless possibilities. It streamlines the journey from onboarding to governance with single sign on and a consistent experience for everyone. At its core, Fabric is lake centric and open, designed to encourage collaboration while keeping security and governance strong. It's made for today's AI driven world, combining advanced analytics, openness, and integration with tools like Microsoft 365. With co-pilots guiding the experience, people can move faster and even use natural language to work with their data. Microsoft Fabric is a SaaS-based solution made up of 6 core experiences: data integration, data engineering, data warehouse, business intelligence, real-time analytics, and data science. Each is designed for specific personas and tasks, but they all work seamlessly together through a lake-first approach. Over the next few slides, we'll take a closer look at each one and see how they deliver real value. Let's zoom in on the first core experience, data integration. Data Factory in Microsoft Fabric is a modern data integration platform that makes ingestion, preparation, and transformation simple. It powers both Lakehouse and data warehouse analytics, designed for everyone from citizen developers to professionals. With 300 plus transformations, you can shape data quickly while benefiting from cloud scale ETL. Data pipelines and data flows offer a low-code collaborative foundation for enterprise ETL. Data pipelines handle complex workflows, moving massive volumes, even petabytes, and support advanced logic like loops, conditionals, and integration with Spark notebooks or SQL scripts. Data flows use a Power Query-based interface to ingest data from hundreds of sources and transform it with ease. Together, they unify data, enable collaboration, and speed up decision making. Let's move on to next core experience, data engineering. Data engineering lets you transform data at scale using Lakehouse experience. It combines serverless Spark with flexible clusters that can grow, shrink, pause, or resume, making workload management efficient. The Lakehouse architecture unifies structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data and supports the medallion architecture with delta tables. It also creates a SQL analytics endpoint so data can be queried relationally and integrated with Power BI. Finally, Fabric notebooks give you an interactive coding space for preparation, transformation, and quick visualization. Let's move on to data warehouse experience, where high performance analytics really comes to life. Data warehouse is an enterprise scale platform that delivers high performance with zero configuration. It's lake centric, storing data in OneLake with open data format, making management and recovery simple. Virtual warehouses let you run cross database queries without duplicating data. With storage and compute separated, you get instant scalability and efficient workload management. Thanks to autonomous optimization, it eliminates manual tuning. And how about security? It's fully integrated with granular SQL controls, workspace, object, row, and column, so teams can collaborate securely. Now, I want you to imagine this. What if you could get the insights from the moment data is generated? That's exactly what real-time analytics brings to the table. It gives you instant insights from time series, telemetry, and log data, even at massive scales. It handles high volume, semi-structured data, supporting thousands of queries at once with minimal latency. The platform captures real-time events and ingests data from multiple sources while letting you run direct queries on raw data. With event stream to route data, KQL database to store and analyze, an activator to trigger actions on patterns, the platform makes real-time truly practical. Think of industries like finance, logistics, and healthcare, where every seconds matter and fresh data drives immediate decisions. Let's talk about data science now, where we go beyond insights and start predicting. With Microsoft Fabric's data science experience, you can build, deploy, and operationalize machine learning models in secure, collaborative workflows. It connects seamlessly with Azure Synapse ML for experiment tracking, model registry, and scalable ML workflows. From data preparation to modeling to predictive insights, the entire workflow is built in. You can use familiar tools like Python, Spark, and MLflow and share results instantly through notebooks, lakehouses, and Power BI. If everyone in your organization could act on predictive insight instantly, wouldn't that completely change the way you work? That's exactly what Semantic Link enables. It connects data scientists and analysts, making predictive insights actionable. Let's move on to business intelligence now, where data actually makes decisions. Power BI empowers us to uncover hidden insights in the data, helping everyone make confident decisions with up-to-the-minute analytics. It can connect to hundreds of data sources, both on-premises and in the cloud, and lets you share and collaborate on the reports and real-time dashboards, all infused with AI. One key capability is Power BI Embedded. This provides SDKs for .NET and JavaScript, allowing you to embed reports, dashboards, and tiles directly into the web applications. A new feature, Direct Lake Mode, gives the fastest query and reporting experience without duplicating data. Don't worry, we'll understand it in detail on the next slide. So you might already have used direct query and import mode in Power BI. Let me try to recap it. With direct query, Power BI doesn't store the data locally. Every query goes straight to the source system, so you are always looking at the latest data. Now the query performance of this depends on the source system. So yes, it's real time, but not always blazing fast. Then we have import mode. Here, the data is copied into Power BI, letting you run super fast queries because all the data is in memory. The downside of it, you need to refresh data regularly to stay up to date. So it's fast, but not real time. Now imagine getting speed and real time insights together. That's what Direct Lake Mode delivers. It combines the best of both worlds. Power BI reads Parquet formatted files straight from OneLake. No data duplication needed. It's faster and has latest data. Let's talk about OneLake now, the backbone that makes it all possible. OneLake changes the game for data management. Think of it like OneDrive for your entire organization, a single unified place for all your data. It's included with every Fabric tenant, so onboarding is seamless. With OneLake, there is one copy of data used across multiple analytics engines. No data duplication, less redundancy, more efficiency, and scale without the sprawl. It's built on ADLS Gen 2 and stores data in Delta Parquet format, so engines like T-SQL and Spark work smoothly without extra copies. It supports structured and unstructured data. Governance and security are built in. Teams can manage their own access through workspaces, while Azure AD ensures layered protection for every user and every dataset. Now that we have explored OneLake, let's zoom out and see how rest of Fabric system sits together. There are two features I want to highlight that make data access even smarter: shortcuts and mirroring. Let's start with shortcuts. Think of them as virtual pointers to data stored across multiple locations, both inside and outside Fabric. No need to move or duplicate any data, whether ADLS Gen 2, Amazon S3, or Dataverse. You get real-time access while saving on costs. And yes, cloud shortcuts are secured with delegated connections, so your data stays safe. Now let's talk about mirroring. This lets you replicate data near real-time from databases or warehouses into OneLake. Once mirrored, the data is available across all Fabric experiences. Currently, it supports sources like Azure SQL Database, Cosmos DB, Snowflake, SQL Server, and PostgreSQL. Imagine teams getting real-time insights at scale. That's the power mirroring brings. Now that we have covered the key components of Microsoft Fabric, the question is, how does AI fit in? AI doesn't just make analytics powerful, but smarter. Let's talk about one of the most exciting features, data agents. Data agents let you create your own conversational Q&A system powered by generative AI. You can ask plain English questions about the data in OneLake and get instant context-rich answers. No SQL, no data modeling, no technical expertise needed. The agent handles all of that for you. Fabric supports copilots for all the key experiences. You must be wondering now, how is this different from the copilots? Well, there are two key differences. First, configurability. Copilots are pre-configured for specific tasks inside Fabric, but data agents are fully customizable. You can shape their behavior with your own instructions and examples, making them fit your unique business needs. Second, scope and use case. Copilots are embedded assistants inside Fabric experiences, while data agents are standalone artifacts, which means you can create and adapt them however you like. A few highlights: you can focus the AI on specific tables or sources, so results are accurate and noise free. You can configure instructions and examples to match your company logic, and they are secured by design. Any query runs under the user's Fabric account, respecting governance and permissions, and they never make destructive changes like deleting the data. All of this is great, but where do they really shine? Business teams that need quick, ad hoc insights, a sales manager checking last quarter numbers, or a marketing lead analyzing trends, all in natural language without waiting on analysts. New employees can instantly query data and get context rather than spending weeks learning systems. In short, data agents democratize data access. They make analytics approachable for everyone, giving every team member secure, accurate, and timely insights. Let's see how a data agent looks like. On the left, you'll see the data tables from the source, and the cool part here is you don't need to bring in everything. You can focus only on the tables that matter for your question. On the right, you have the conversational interface. This is where you interact with the agent in plain English. Ask your question, and the data agent automatically generates the right query, fetches the data, and delivers accurate, context-aware results. And the best part here is it even shows you the query it used to get the result. Full transparency, no guessing, no hidden processes. So you get insights that are both fast and reliable. Let's see how you can make it even smarter for your organization. You can add organization-specific instructions, examples, and guidance to fine-tune your data agent. This ensures the answers it provides are aligned with your unique business needs. If you look at the screenshot, by clicking on the data agent instructions option, a dialog box opens. Here you can provide your custom instructions, and the agent will use this context to generate accurate and tailored results. Your data agent isn't just smart, it's smart in your context, giving your team insights they can trust and act on immediately. We can also train the agent with real examples. Using the example queries option, a pop-up opens where you provide a sample question and the kind of response or query you expect. This helps the data agent learn from real examples and align perfectly with how your data organization actually works. Now let's see the Fabric data agent in action. So for demo purpose, we are using gaming skills data here. So on the left side, if you see, there are 3 tables. We are selecting all the 3 tables. We come to the conversational interface. We ask the question, like across the industry, what are the number of games sold in each region? Now the agent processes this request. It creates the query and fetches the data. You can see here, it took very less time and it is able to return the number of games sold in each region across the industry. There is also, you can also see the number of steps it has taken to complete. So when you click on expand this option, you can see what are the steps that it took to give you the result. And you can also see the DAX query it generated to, to fetch this result. The data set here is semantic model. So now let's go ahead and ask a bit complex question. What are the top sold games in each of these regions? The agent again processes the request and it gets the result. Here we can see all the top sold games for 4 regions that are returned in the previous query. So along with the result, we can also see the steps that it has taken. Here it took 4 steps. It has taken all the intermediate results and combined it to give the final output. What's amazing here is even non-technical users can ask plain English questions and get reliable, explainable insights. Imagine a user with access to multiple Power BI reports but is not sure which report holds the answer. Instead of switching back and forth, the data agent guides them directly to the right information, all within the Power BI Copilot experience. And it doesn't stop there. Data agents can also be extended into Microsoft Teams or integrated with Azure AI Foundry, giving your analytics even more power. In the next slide, we'll dive into Azure AI Foundry and see how data agents fit into that ecosystem. Think of AI Foundry as the factory floor for AI. This is where generative AI apps are designed, tested, and deployed in one unified platform. You get access to top models like GPT, Phi, Llama, Mistral, and more, so you can pick the right model for your business needs. Foundry also includes prompt flow, making it simple to design, test, and deploy AI apps in a structured way. With built-in monitoring and evaluation, your AI stays safe, reliable, and aligned with organizational goals. It covers the end-to-end life cycle from experimentation to production and integrates enterprise data seamlessly. That's where Microsoft Fabric and data agents come in, bringing your organization's data securely into these AI workflows. Every AI agent in Foundry can be extended with a knowledge skill. You can take an existing agent, go into the knowledge skill section, and add a Fabric data agent. Once connected, the agent becomes much smarter. It knows when and how to pull the data from the OneLake, uses secure access, and delivers accurate information grounded in your data. So it's not just powerful, it's actionable, secure, and tailored for your business. And with that, I will hand over to Pari, who will take you through next set of slides. Thank you.
Thank you, Dikshit. You covered a lot. Actually, that would really take a week just to even get a summary of what you covered so far. Wonderful one. Thank you for that. We talked enough about the theoretical part of it, right? And we also covered the demo, right? But how did we do it in real world scenario? So we had a recent engagement with one of the life science client where they wanted to build a data analytics platform from scratch, right? They were building reports from their legacy ERP systems, and they were having a lot of challenges. So they had dependencies on the BW extractors, and they had dependencies on the web custom logic where all these business rules went in. So they didn't have clear visibility of what's happening inside the system. It's all black box there, right? So the management wanted to have a good quality reports generator and also with a good performance. So that's a main requirement we had when we started our engagement, right? And the report queries were taking 15 to 20 minutes, and it did not have any other integration with other systems within their enterprise systems, and the data was also not refreshed, and then the data was not up to date, and they were dealing with a 24 to 48 hours delayed data there. So these were the challenges we had when we started our engagement, and we are going to discuss how we solved it with our approach. Next slide. Yes. So this is the architecture we have implemented in our recent engagement, and this is following our the most successful data processing architecture in market, which is called medallion architecture, where you take your data, your raw data, and then you take it in different phases, and then you clean it up, and then you create your goal layer or goal data set, and then you certify them, and then you use them in your reporting, in your AI use cases. And this is the architecture we implemented, and this is kind of an hybrid architecture because it involves both ADF and also which means Azure, and also the Fabric, because we wanted to use a very best connector between SAP system and our Fabric environment. We don't want any hiccups in the performance of the existing system, transactional system. And so we spent our research, we had time on the research, and then we found out, or we picked this particular connector called CDC. It's called Change Data Capture, and the SAP natively supports this connector because, and they have it is connecting through this ODP layer. It's called Operational Data Provisioning Framework. So it goes via that layer. It is not going to affect the transaction system at any time, and you can connect to that seamlessly, and you can bring your data and updates the delta table into your Fabric without affecting the existing system. So that's the highlight of this one. So that's connector was available in Azure. We make use of it, and then we brought the data from SAP system into the bronze layer, which is the raw data as is, right? And then we take the data, and then in the silver layer we apply the business logic. What's happening previously, it was happening inside the BW system. We understood those, we documented them, and then we applied all those business rules in the silver layer, and then we keep the data ready for immediate serving for the data scientists, right? They don't want the data in any other particular scheme or any other particular model. They just want the clean data. So if the data scientist is what they're looking for, we can give them access directly to silver layer instead of waiting until the gold layer, which is going to be aligned to a particular organization's data model, right? So we can enable them with access with a SQL endpoint, just a read-only access, and they can immediately start their work on top of it, right? That's the beauty of the medallion architecture, because the data is readily available whenever you want it, and quickly available as well. And when it goes to the gold layer, you further clean up your data, and then you align your data into a particular data model called star schema, where everything is handled with facts and dimensions, right? And that data model is not applicable only for your SAP data. The same data model is going to be applied to your other data sources also. Like as the data comes in from Salesforce, the data comes in for SharePoint, and we are going to align this entire data into data model so that it talks one language, and it gives you one output. So that's the ultimate goal of this entire architecture, right? And we have enabled the direct lake mode also, where this is the query performance have totally increased from 15 to 20 minutes. Now it takes only 10 to 15 seconds, where your report is always refreshed at the up-to-date data, and it's always taking less than 10-15 seconds. So that is how we were able to solve all of those challenges what we discussed so far with Fabric, because it natively supports medallion architecture, and it supports Spark framework, and it supports collaborative platform where data analysts, scientists, and even a regular SQL Server knowledge-based person also can come in and write queries on top of the data, because this entire warehouse, the lakehouse, can be exposed via SQL Server Management Studio, or even via a regular SQL interface. You can write simple SQL queries on top of it, and you can start accessing data as soon as it is cleaned up and ready. So that's the beauty of this one. This is what we have done, and it was really a success from our side. Next slide. Yes. So what are the highlights of this, right? As I told you, it's a hybrid approach where you use best of both the worlds from Azure and also from Fabric. And we have migrated hundreds of CDS views from SAP seamlessly into the Fabric, and we were able to do analytics on top of all those data, transaction data. And also we have replicated all the business logic in silver layer, so that the existing reports is not affected. It is still going to give you the same output as they were before when they were generating the reports of the BW or other ERP systems. And we have kept the data always fresh, and it's always updated, maybe not real time, but near real time, right? And this performance is, as I told you, it's increased to a greater extent. And we have kept the foundation ready for the AI team to take over, and then they can apply all the AI use cases on top of this data. Next slide. So yes, I think this is just a summary of what I discussed so far, and you have performance gains and trusted insights because of this, and you get like now you can see your data clearly, and you understand your data and you can generate insights out of it seamlessly. And data scientists, developers, they can come together and they work on this platform seamlessly without depending on access or any, because the access, everything is handled at the workspace level. So it's all like collaborative platform.
Thank you, Dikshit. Awesome. We've heard really good insights so far from both of them. And now that we've seen how other organizations are approaching their SAP data journey, let's take a look at, what we at S2 have designed as a fast track package for getting you started on the right analytics strategy with Microsoft Fabric. Now at S2, we've brought together our SAP expertise and Microsoft Fabric capabilities into one unified offering, right? So in just 4 weeks, we help you bring together your SAP S4HANA data into, a single trusted platform. The outcome is, simplified architectures, scalable AI-powered analytics, and an AI-ready foundation for your business. There will, also be an AI agent that would be available on your Microsoft Teams to interact and converse all about your sales data available in SAP S4HANA. Now, this is going to help your finance and executive teams to interact with data and make, better decisions. This package is, designed as a fixed value engagement starting at just $24,900, which makes it a predictable and accelerated way to move forward with your SAP data journey. Along the way, you're also going to benefit from an embedded Fabric Copilot, self-service analytical capabilities, integrated notifications for data quality, and a foundation that is ready for AI innovation. Right, so this is our S2 offering. And moving on, while our package focuses on getting you started, it's just really the beginning. Once your data is unified and AI ready, there are several high value use cases that you can start exploring with your SAP data. It can be your data quality and trust, where there is AI driven cleansing, deduplication, harmonization of master data. There is predictive forecasting, where you have sales and demand prediction powered by your AI and ML. You have customer intelligence, where you can identify churn risks, upsell opportunities, and deliver personalized insights. You have generative insights, where you can leverage your Fabric Copilot for your natural language Q&A and guided data prep. You also have continuous AI, where you're keeping machine learning models fresh with an incremental SAP data pipelines. Now, these use cases are not just conceptual, they are proven accelerators that our clients can start leveraging once the foundation is in place. So these are just the different AI use cases for your SAP data, but just to get started, we have an offering that we just showed you. Moving on, let me close with a few key takeaways from today's session that Dikshit and Pari spoke about. The whole thing was about, it's a unified platform. So Microsoft Fabric brings all data and analytics together in one SaaS solution. You have a simplified architecture. So there is streamlined complexity through medallion layers, like Pari explained, and Dikshit explained. So there is bronze, silver, and gold. This isn't just theory, it's proven in practice. Means that these approaches have been successfully implemented at scale, delivering measurable insights. You have security, lineage, and certified data sets that ensure trust in your data. And of course, it's future ready. So there are AI powered insights with your Copilot, and seamless ML Gen AI integration position you for what's actually coming. Now, with this approach, we don't aim just to modernize your SAP data. We, try to unlock new opportunities for innovation for your organization. So with that comes to an end of our session, but we move on to the Q&A segment of the webinar. I would request our experts to take up all the questions that have come so far. We've actually received quite a bit of questions. Here, I can maybe read out some of the questions that we've received, and one of our experts can answer them. The first one that we've got is that how do we really position Microsoft Fabric versus Snowflake or Databricks? Were they considered?
Okay, I would take this question, Nishita. So we have considered Snowflake and Databricks as an options as well, but the number of key capabilities that Microsoft Fabrics that are really great. It doesn't match what Snowflake and Databricks offer. They are also good, but for the current context, where we wanted business intelligence tools like integration with Power BI, and and in for our client scenario, they needed the silver level layer data to be provided to their data science team as well. So all of this are the main reasons why we have to choose Microsoft Fabric as our strategy.
Thank you, Dikshit. We have another question that came up. Can Fabric actually reduce deduplication and costs with OneLake?
I can take that question, Nishita. Yes, absolutely. Yes, that's one of the primary goals we had even when we started that, right? So yes, because OneLake, when you create shortcuts or when you create duplicate copies of data, it is still going to treat you as one copy, right? And it is not going to charge you for storage, and because it is virtually created a copy, not the physical copy there. So yes, it really the Fabric really helps us to reduce the cost when it comes to storage when you use the OneLake for our storage purpose.
Thank you, Pari. We have another one. For SAP ECC or S4, what's the cleanest way to bring data into Fabric?
So I can take that. So yeah, there are different ways to do that. It depends on what is that licensing model you have with your SAP and even with your Fabric system if you already have in the organization, right? And it depends on that. But at the same time, the CDC, what we talked about right now, that's the best way to bring it down to Fabric from SAP, and so that you don't need to build or rebuild your this delta logic again in your system, because CDC is going to give you all the delta logic by default from SAP side.
Great. Thank you, Pari. I think a couple of more that we can probably take. For developers, how smooth is integration of Fabric pipelines with existing Synapse or Azure Data Factory? Do we need to rewrite a lot?
I'll take this question. So the rework is actually very less. The Synapse, the Azure Data Factory, and the Synapse Azure Synapse that we had earlier, they are very similar to Data Factory in Fabric, and we can use either data lakehouse or a data warehouse depending on how complex the logic is. So it's not very difficult. The learning curve is also not much. We can make it very smoothly.
Awesome. Can we land SAP transactional data directly into OneLake, or do we always need staging through Data Factory or Synapse pipelines?
Yeah, I can take that. Yes, we can directly bring the data as well, but it's always a best practice, because to have the data load smooth and more performant, right? And it's always best to have a staging so that, and so it's always recommended, but still it is possible to bring the data directly into your lakehouse by using your data flow Gen 2 or even your shortcuts if it is available. Yes, we can still do that.
So it actually depends on the requirement and the kind of data that we have in SAP. If the data in SAP is already cleansed, we can skip these staging and silver layer steps. We can directly go to the gold layer. And there are different tools that we talked about, like data pipelines and data flows. If we have to do a lot of complex changes, it's better to go for data pipelines. If you just have to pull lots and lots of data without doing much transformations, data flows are the best solution for this.
I agree. That's correct.
Great. I think maybe we can take two more questions. One is, how do we position Microsoft Fabric versus DataSphere for SAP customers? Are we saying Fabric replaces DataSphere or complements it?
I can take that. Maybe someone from SAP also can answer. Anirudh, do you want to answer that?
Yeah. Sure, I think it definitely complements it from a use case point of view, right? So if the data, as Dikshit mentioned, right, if the data is already cleansed and it's readily available, which is majority of the features from DataSphere offers that readily with the extension to Databricks and all. So that work is already done. But when you bring all of this data into Fabric, you bring it not only for the analytical strategy, but also the collaborative features, as well as the ecosystem that Microsoft empowers with the data that is readily available in Fabric, right? So especially the demo that we saw here for the data agents, as well as the AI Foundry as well.
Great. Thank you, Anirudh. I think one last question that we can take up. Can we use data agent with an existing semantic model in Power BI?
Yes, it's as data agent is already supported since it's part of like Fabric Data Flow Gen 2 capability. Yeah, we can use it.
Yeah, so it works brilliantly with Power BI semantic models as well. So initially when it was launched, it used to support only the warehouses. Now it supports even the KQL databases along with semantic models. And the licensing also, initially it was for F64 or so, higher ranges, but now they have changed it to base version also. F2 also supports Fabric Data Agent.
Perfect. Awesome. I think we have covered most of the questions. We would be answering some in the chat itself. So with that, we do come to an end of our webinar. Thank you to all our speakers for sharing such valuable insights today, and a special thanks to all of you in the audience for joining us and engaging with your questions. At S2 Integrators, we are committed to helping organizations such as yours simplify their SAP data journey and unlock the full potential of analytics with Microsoft Fabric. If you'd like to learn more, our team will be happy to connect with you after this session. We'll also be sharing the recording and resources with all the registrants. We truly appreciate your time and participation, and we look forward to continuing this conversation with you. So on behalf of the entire S2 SAP and Microsoft team, thank you once again, everybody, and we wish you a wonderful day, evening ahead.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.